So, you got a buck on camera, and he's nocturnal. I see a lot of stuff about nocturnal bucks, guys posting, how do I turn this buck from being a nocturnal buck to one that shows up in the daylight? I see it on all the forums and stuff. You know, and everybody says, hey, throw out some bait for him. Hey, do this for him. Hey, do that for him. Well, you need to be able to understand nocturnal bucks, okay? There's basically 3 different nocturnal bucks, okay? So, number 1, the nocturnal buck that shows up between, say, 10:30 and 2:30 on your camera. At that time of the night, that deer is quite possibly the furthest it can get from its bedding area. So, what are your chances of killing that deer? Well, slim to none under normal circumstances. But here are 2 circumstances that make it possible to kill that deer. Number 1, a seasonal shift in food to where the deer will or may even not move closer to where you're at based on the supply of food and what they favor at that time of year. It could be corn, it could be apples, where there's agriculture, soft mast. It could be acorns. Deer will drastically shift their range, and that will change where they bed and when they might be on camera or not. They can move further away from you. Okay. Second kind of nocturnal deer. The kind of nocturnal deer that show up just after daylight just before daylight or just after dark. Now, these deer are probably bedding pretty close to you, and you probably have a decent shot at harvesting that deer at some point in the year. Okay? Now, things can change in the way of weather that would make these deer get up on their feet a little bit earlier. A storm, a cold front, something like that. Really bad weather that's going to force the deer maybe to not eat for a while and hunker down, and then after the storm passes, get up on their feet. So, if you have a torrential rainfall, if you have a snowfall, if you have a drastic weather change, 10, 15, 20 degrees overnight, they can all be reasons why that deer is going to show up a little bit earlier. Now, here's what you have to watch. That deer that's showing up just on the fringe of daylight, either just before or just after, can really be affected by you going in there and leaving human scent. So if you're going to hunt that area, you need to hunt it very carefully. The third kind of nocturnal deer. Nocturnal because of hunting pressure. That's right, it probably gets up just after it gets dark, in bed before it gets light. Very hard deer to hunt. The best time to try to hopefully run into that deer is going to be late season. After food starts to disappear, after most of the hunting pressure is gone, you have a chance, and I'm saying a chance, that deer may get up early with severe weather, come to food if you're near food, and you may see him in the daytime. So here's a little bonus for you. It's often said that if you bump a deer out of its bed, that, I bumped it out of its bed, it's going to leave and it's going to be nocturnal. Well, studies have said that that deer is very liable to be back in that same general bedding area in the next 11 to 13 hours. So if you are a bump and dump hunter, yeah, that kind of says that, that tactic works. Hey, for a real world deer hunter, I'm Steve.